and screen sharing done. Okay. I'll share screen also. Okay. Okay. I hope you are getting the screen also now. Are you guys able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think yesterday we have done two things. One is taking backup of our instance, and we have discussed on Lightsail, right? I hope yesterday you guys tried this backup of instance and tried to restore. Is it working?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, no doubts now in that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So simple. I think I forgot. Actually, there is one more shortcut also. I'll just show it on the screen. So just go to your EC2. I think from your instance only you can directly take the backup also. Just I'll show just for shortcut method. So you can just go to your instance. Here you can select. See inside this actions section, you can directly get that option. Just to get into this image and templates. So within this image and template only, you are finding an option called create image, right? So directly from here also, you'll be able to create your in snapshot or instance of your backup of your instance. Okay, just remember this is one other way of creating your backup. Okay. Okay. So coming back, I think today we'll practically do that light sale also. I think light sale you can very easy, and you can easily explore all the methods in that, because mostly what are all we regularly use in our cloud service, cloud server, all those types of applications are directly available through Lightsail. Okay, sometimes when you're facing in difficulties in configuring or practically executing, so simply instead of wasting time, you can just directly go to this Lightsail, and you can directly create your necessary services. So today what we'll do, we'll just explore once. We'll explore 2 to 3 services of Lightsail. So just simply search for Lightsail in your search bar. Lightsail. Okay. So as you can see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Please make sure that you explore all the things in this 7 services. Okay. So these are all very important services which we use regularly in our whenever people are working on cloud. So these 7 services are very necessary to them. One thing is we have already explored and gained some knowledge on instances. So instances we can understand. Similarly, containers will come under this DevOps concepts. We will be exploring in further classes. Right now, you don't know have much knowledge of containers, so don't worry. We'll be learning containers also, and databases also we haven't explored. Just we'll try to create one database. how to create database and how to connect to that database. Okay, so networking also, most of the things are connected in this whiteboard instances only. Just we'll try to create our network also, try to explore this networking section also. In your networking section, I think we had a discussion on this load balancer and static IP. I think we already done with elastic IP, right? So elastic IP is almost same like this static IP only. So I already what is why to use static IP, so that and load balancer also we'll try to explore in this. And storage is also a little, I think we haven't explored much about storages. We have only learnt about this EBS, elastic block storage. Under that we have just learnt about volumes. So here you can say, here they are calling volumes as just disks. Okay, disk means nothing but, last time when we are having discussion of on volumes, we told that it is similar to a memory card, right? So so one is fixed storage like your memory card, so only you can use only to one system. Whereas bucket is similar to your and for your understanding purpose I'm telling, where you can put any type of data. And it is like OneDrive or Google Drive, so it can be accessed from anywhere, and multiple number of people can also access the same data at the same time, right? Whereas disk, if you are putting all your data inside the disk, only one person can access your data at one time. Whereas if you are putting your data on bucket, so multiple people can access the data at the same time. So how means, you can simply take the examples of G drive. So in G drive, if you are uploading a file, you can share the file link to everyone. So what you'll be getting there, you'll be getting one link, so that link you'll be sharing with multiple people, right? So that is the reason we use buckets in that case. Whereas for example, if you are working on one server, so a server need a storage, right? So for that purposes we use disk. And domains and DNS. So DNS means DNS, I think already we have discussed a little about DNS, right? So if you are uh, what we say, if you are purchasing some domains from other providers, what you can do is you can just create the list of all your domains here, and you can call it as a zone. For example, if you are having five websites, for example xyz.net, or else hyderabad public.com, or else hyderabad people.com, or hyderabad softwares.com. So like that, if you are having multiple domain names, so what you can do is we can all put it as a group and save it inside this DNS zone section. Okay, so or else if you want to purchase a domain for your website, so you can do that also. Okay. And snapshot section, I think we have already learned about the snapshots. We are little familiar now. Okay. So right now we'll explore one by one. First, we'll go to instances. So remember that this is the easiest method. Lightsail is, as I already told, it is a premium service for the people who doesn't want to get deeper into this AWS, who just want to use it as a basic. Like if the people are having any very basic requirement, for them it is only suitable. Or for if you want to do some complex operations, or you want to have more deeper knowledge into this AWS, then you will be creating instances here. Sorry, console. So this place is suitable for the experts who manage everything. So as you can see, there are so many options. That means only an expert, or who is an having very deeper knowledge into all the services, or who can manage the servers, handle the servers very deeply, like more knowledge, like handling separate images, handling having the knowledge on network, having the knowledge on auto scaling, or having the knowledge on EBS. So the person need to learn a lot of things to work on instances. Okay, so in that case, we need to be hiring a person with great professional knowledge, right? So that people need will be doing or maintaining your website. Okay, so for light sale, we does not need anything, any a newcomer or any beginner who want to start with AWS. We can start directly with AWS and start using these services. Okay, so this we can consider that only for the startups who have very less resources, or very less activities, or less duties. So that person can easily start come to AWS and start this directly. Okay, you need to categorize. For example, if you are building one very big website like facebook.com or youtube.com or Gmail, right? So that you need to have lot of things to consider. So in that case, you will be building this instances, and you will be handling such projects. For example, if you are building one small website, for example, if you are creating one blog, okay, where you'll be you putting a post or some content or vlog every 1 or 2 days. That is one case. Or else if you are building one website for a company, okay, so the interaction to your website is very very minimal, right? Once you put your company website, or your college website, or personal blog, there are very very less technical factors are involved, right? So you need not waste so much time in understanding all these concepts, right? So you need a very quick start. So in that scenario, you can just opt to this light sale service. Okay, so both type of services are also available. One is into deep technical things, and one is for a very quick start of putting your services. Okay, so you need to able to choose between these two depending on your project. Okay, if your project needs so many complex things to handle, go for this instance services, go for EC2 service. Whereas if your project is very very simple, or with very very limited features, or limited technical aspects, that time you can just simply come to this light sale, and you can start using it. Okay, even a beginner without any deep technical knowledge can also work on this light sale. Okay, you need not have any deep technical knowledge, or you need not have any certification, nothing. Everybody can directly start. So that they made it very very simple to use. Okay, whereas if you are working on this EC2, you know already, like we need to understand, uh, we need to install Apache software, or we need to execute some commands, and there are so many things involved. Whereas in light sale, everything is tailor made. That means Amazon light sale will only build one custom built templates. Okay, so you can just use the templates, and you can start directly working on this. Okay, so we'll start with instances. So just instance means, you already know, we can create one server. So click on instance. So as you can see, they made it very very simple. Only three options will be there for you. One is instance location. Where is the location of your instance? So here you can change the instance location. So whichever location you are comfortable with, you can select that location. So I'm selecting Mumbai as my location. Okay, AP South 1. Select Mumbai. Okay, so again select a platform. So what platform you are want to? Just only two platforms are available. If you want to install Linux, you can install, or Microsoft. That's it. Okay, let's see what they are providing. For example, if I say Linux, so simply the person is telling, what you want with the Linux: apps with operating system, or only operating system, right? So app plus operating system, as you know, these are all custom built templates. If you are building one WordPress website, so everything which are relevant to this WordPress software and configuration, everything will be provided by Amazon only. Whereas if you are doing this in this EC2, you need to create instance and you need to install and configure all your WordPress packages, right? So as you can see, they made it very very simple. Okay, the person need not have so much knowledge to understand the WordPress installation, and I think the other time we have also done. We need to go to that security group, and we need to add port number 80. So to understanding this, the person might get at least one need at least 1 week time to understand all these concepts, right? So here you need not waste any time. You can just directly come and you can use. I think we have used this Nginx, right? So Nginx I have told you to install. So this we have done in by ourselves. So we went to command prompt and we have installed the package, and we have started the service, and we have opened the port number, right? So here all the what Amazon is doing in this light cell is, not everybody is very aware of executing commands. Not everybody is aware of installing the software. So simply you can just select here, so that will provide you one installation directly. So similarly, these are all the most commonly used servers, or most commonly used softwares for web applications. Okay, so we'll use WordPress. LAMP also similar to Apache only. So in that LAMP we can use this PHP. So similarly, Node.js very very popular. Joomla, Magento, Drupal. So these are all very very common things. So they are directly giving you along with the installation. And there is also another option like OS only. If you want only OS, as you can see, there is no lot of confusion, right? So very very popular OS are available. So here you can see Amazon Linux. Only Linux you can get directly, right? So this is for very very beginners. So beginners will just come. So they'll select the region, they'll select operating system. If they want to include packages, they can include. Just click on. And very very important thing is, we'll come to this section again, but once we'll look into this Windows also. So in Windows, they are providing us 7 blueprints. So one is 2019, 2016, 2012, and 2022. So let us see what they are giving in apps. Okay, so in apps, as you can see, they are providing default this SQL server. As you know, SQL server is built by Microsoft. Okay, so as you can see, this also they are providing. And one more thing what you need to remember is, if you are taking one AWS instance from here, so one is operating system. So one headache is you need to buy licenses, right? So Windows 22. So Windows 22 server license will be provided by Amazon only, right? So this will be taken care. And again, if you say app plus OS, so SQL server as you know, this Microsoft is not a open source one. So they provide only proprietary softwares, that means paid softwares. So here SQL server is not a free software, it is a paid software. So what happens is, my this uh, AWS only will look over all about everything about your licenses, right? So next very very important thing is, they made it very very simple. So to select region, select your operating system, select if you want any apps. Okay, and very very important is, as a beginner the person should have knowledge like how much money AWS is charging. So here you can see, in our instances what we are doing, whenever we are not running we are stopping the instance. Whenever we are having the work, we'll be running the instance. Okay, so that time what happens is, there will be change in the lot of charges, right? So here you can see, this is fixed pricing. Amazon Lightsail, they are providing you with very fixed pricing. Okay, so as you can see, price per month, that means how much ever you use. For example, if I take this $8, sorry, $8 is not available, so 20 US dollars. If you are paying 20 US dollars, what they are giving: 2 GB of RAM, 1 GB CPU, and 60 GB of SSD storage, and 1.5 GB of TP of transfer. That means the people who are accessing your website, they need to get the response, right? So the transfer between your server and how much data the server is sending to the client, okay, that also will be calculated. Okay, for example, if you are watching one video, they are provided as 60 GB of storage, right? In that you have stored, for example, 1 GB of video is there, right? 1 GB is stored in your SSD. So what happens is you are giving one link to your user. So what the user will do is, using that link, he will try to download. That means what happens is you are transferring 1 GB of data from your server to the user, right? So there is a data transfer. That means the data is traveling from your server to the user, right? So how much? 1 GB. So as you can see, like that, they are providing us only 1.5 TB of limitations, right? So that means if you it is like 100 GB of storage is equal to 100, not 1000 GB of storage is 1 TB, right? So 1500 GB. So 1500 times the person can download the 1 GB data. That means 1500 users can download this 1 GB file. So after that, it won't be available. Okay, so that is the reason they are giving you the selection part also. So mainly, ser- if your server is involved in data transfer, so that time you need to select here according to your purposes. One second, guys. One second. I'll be back. One second. Okay, so you need to select your server according to your requirement. So the person will not have with basic knowledge will not have much knowledge about all this. So simply they have categorized. If you want more memory, more memory, you can select. More processing, you can select. So more storage, select. More transfer rate, according to that you select. So here you can see everything will be having very fixed price. Okay, according to price, if you are going, the basic ones you can select. So the user will be very very transparent to understand this concept, right? So if the person is want more and more memory, so that time you can select from here. Okay, so for now I think for the free storage, free service, they are giving only up to 2 GB of memory. Okay, so 2 GB means we need to pay $20 per month. Okay, we are all under this free category only. Yeah, any problem, Ajay?
చూసుకోలేదు సార్ అది ఆటోమేటిక్గా.
Okay, okay, so I think we are all using this free account. So I think only this 20 GB $20 thing you need to select. I think the pricing is more. I think 20 GB is too much. 20 GB, $20 is too much. So what you can do is, for example, if I'm selecting this Linux, okay, Linux operating system. And if I go only with OS, okay, so only with OS, and I'm selecting Amazon, see the pricing. So it is just $3.5, right? So if you are going for this 2 GB RAM also, it is happening for me at only $10, right? So for example, if I'm selecting this 2 GB RAM, one CPU, and 60 GB SSD, and costing me $10, right? Similarly, if I go with apps only, apps and OS, so I think, for example, if I select this WordPress, so let us see how much they are charging. It will be same only. Why? Because they're all open source softwares. So these are all open source softwares only, so that is the reason it is free. So let us check with this Windows system. So I've selected Windows, and I'm telling only OS, right? So OS means, let us see. So as you can see, the price got doubled, so $20. So that means they are charging $10 extra. Why $10 extra means? So the $10 will be used for your what we say, your Windows operating system license. So let us see if they are how much they are charging if we also take SQL server along with it. Okay, so select app plus OS, and I'm asking SQL server also. So let us see if they are charging same or more. Okay, for that also they are charging same. Okay, so the person will be having very very transparent knowledge. For example, if I say Linux, so I want 2 GB RAM. So here you can see I'll get it for $10 only. If you want very very less memory and less CPU, just go for $3.5. Okay, so that means the person should not have so much deeper knowledge. Just simply, I'm just looking for the price factor. So the person can directly come select this Linux operating system. If you want to go for the cheaper things, so he will go for the Linux operating system. And if he is having only a very limited budget, so as you know, you can select 3 GB or $3.5 or $5 and create. So $5 is very very less price, and it is a fixed price. Even if you use your server, you stop your server. If you won't don't use your server, nothing will change. Fix $5 is fixed. Okay, so I'll go with plain only. Okay, Amazon Linux, and I'll create instance. Okay, so for the first time who comes to create this instance, for that person it will be very very easy to create. So as you can see, whereas when we have created instance, so we have so many things to monitor. So as you can see, we have so many options and so many things to monitor. Whereas in Lightsail, it is all very very easy to understand and execute. Okay. So as you know, this creating the instance for any non-IT person also is very very easy. And this also you can just explore. This I think this is coming recently. They have added more services. In this light cell, we are having only 7 services. I think in this research section, they've added few more. Okay, when you get time, just look into it. Okay, right. So as you can see, our instance got created and it is running. So one is connecting to our instance is also one bigger problem. So in our instances, what we do, we have so many like serial connection, session manager connection, and RDP connection, fleet manager connection, RDP file. There are so many confusions in that, right? So here you can see this is they made it. It will be very very simple to connect to your Linux instance. Just click on your instance, right? So simply if you click on connect, it will directly connect to your instance, right? See, I'm already connected to my instance. Whereas in my in our instance part, there are so many factors. You need to generate a ppk key, and you need to download a putty software. You need to upload that you need to know the port number. You need to know the public ip address. You need to know authentication section. So public ip address, and your ssh key. So the person will not have so much deeper knowledge when working on this light set. Okay, so this will be much easier and very very quickest one to start. Okay, this if you this is one cases, you can directly connect to this. If you want to log in using your putty software, that also is possible. So both professional as well as beginner, both things you can do. Okay, in this. So as you can see, they have downloaded me this uh, ppm key. Okay, so as you know, in this instance, we can only get the key pair one time. This key pair which we create. So if we lost the key pair, we can't generate a new key pair. That is another problem. So here you can see, you can download your key any number of times. So as you can see, I got the key for 2 times, right? So now what you can do, you can take this public IP address and use the key and log in with your putty software also. Okay. So this is the very very quickest one. And one more important thing is matrices analytics. So consumption, right? So this is also very very similar and easy. And if you want to take the snapshot, simply you can just click on create snapshot, create. That's it. So this very very simple in this. Okay. And one more thing, one more important thing is automatic snapshots. So this we haven't explored in our EC2. So this also we'll look into it. Okay. So we just learned how to take manual snapshots. Okay. So automatic snapshots we haven't learned yet. Okay. So that thing also we need to explore. So create snapshot. That's it. Okay, it's very very simple. And if you want to have automatic snapshots, so you can enable that option also. So just enable, I understand, yes. Okay, now it will ask snapshot time. So change snapshot time. So when you want to take, I'll select our time. Okay, so when you want to take, so every day at what time you want to take a snapshot. Okay, you can enable that. So what will happen, according to that, it will take snapshots every day, or at the given time. Okay, so this is much more simpler and very very easy for the beginners to start with. Okay, similarly storage. So here it is similar. It is we are having 40 GB storage. So here you can see create disk. So create disk. So it will tell you clear pricing. For example, if you are taking on 8 GB storage, so they are asking you zero point 0.8 US dollars. Similarly, if you want to take some 256 GB, so $25 they are charging. Simply you can just select your preferred storage. I'll just add 1 GB. Okay, 1 GB storage I'm asking. What it needs more, you can specify up to 16 TB. Okay, or else I'll select one. Okay, and create disk. Right, so directly it is asking me like which instance you want to attach. Select Amazon Linux, click on attach. So as you can see, the interface, the flow and everything is very very simpler. So it is designed in such a way that even any beginner will come and start using this. You can directly start with Lightsail. Okay, instead of wasting so much time in understanding and progressing towards our AWS knowledge. So instead of learning anything, even if you don't have any knowledge on cloud services or anything, the person can still directly come here and you can start using the services. Okay, So this is designed in such a manner, okay, where you need not have any personal expertise, okay, where in the same scenario when we have done in our instances, we have created one volume, and we have what we have done, we have attached one volume and detached the volume. There are so many big practice. So here once again I will see if this, I'm opened my Linux. If I want to stop, reboot, immediately I can do without wasting any time. Similarly, if I want to connect, it will connect instantly without any confusion, right? So instantly we got our Linux, right? One thing, and matrices we can take directly. Snapshot made very simple. If you want to do automatic snapshot, you can do that also, right? Similarly, storage made very simple. Already it is working on 40 GB, and I have added. See, they're mentioned very clearly. Add additional disk attached. So how many disks are there? One 8 GB disk has been added. So simple. If you want to remove, just simply click on detach. You must stop this instance before you detach this disk. So that is also possible. We can just stop and we can remove. Okay, and networking. This is also one more important thing. So one thing is, as we know little about this IP, a public IP address. So one thing is, when we are working on these instances, there are no knowledge. We don't have any knowledge on this public IP address. So every time when we were restarting our server, automatically the IP address was changing. See here, it is also in empty. Whenever I start my server, then public IP address will be assigned. So what we understood that, so to make this public IP address static, so we found out that elastic IPs are the place. So we need to create one elastic IP, and I need to associate the IP address to my instance. That was what we are doing in our normal EC2 process. Whereas in Lightsail, it is very simple. Just click on attach static IP. Okay, so create and attach. That's it. Two steps at once. Okay, whereas in Elastic IP that was not possible. We need to create one Elastic IP, then we need to attach, disassociate. There were so many things were involved. So as you can see here, in this very simple static IP, I got it. If you want to remove, just click on detach. That's it. That will remove the IP address, right? So this also we have done in our EC2, and the same thing we can do with Lightsail also. What you have learned in EC2 for almost maybe roughly I'll say 10 days. The 10 days work, instead of wasting without no, I don't say it is wasting. Instead of learning so many things, if you want to start very quickly, so the whole EC2 concept can be learned here in 2 days. Okay. So next firewall rule we have explored. So we need to open port numbers. So that also we can directly do. So in our in this EC2 section, there was so much confusion about this security groups. So we were creating so many security groups, and we are going inside each security group, and we need to check on which instance this security group is attached to. Then we need to add the port numbers. That was very a complicated process, right? So in Lightsail it's very simple. Once you open your instance, so directly your security group will open. So inside the security group, just simply add role. That's it. I think we have done with the HTTP is already open, I think. Yes, HTTP is already open. See, SSH and HTTP already open. So if I say, and also you can see the categorization also very clearly made. So for instances, as you know, for instances we use SSH, RDP we use for Windows. Similarly, web server. So we are using HTTP for this, and HTTPS we need 443, right? So that also it is pre-done. So similarly, if you are using any databases, add rule, Oracle databases. So similarly, these are all fixed IP addresses. So directly everything will be given in default, right? So that means it's made it very very easy. So I'll say cancel this one. Yes. Okay, load balancer section we'll see in the next part. Okay, so right, because we need to have at least two servers to check this load balancing. So that is why we are not using here. We have only one. Okay, so next is domains. So domains is nothing but, as you know, our website, for example, if you are using this, for example, google.com. So this is called as a domain. So instead of IP address, we use this particular name to access our website. So any website you see online, they are not accessed using this IP address. They will be accessed using the domain name. So similarly, for example, Lightsail is there. We are not accessing through the IP address. We are accessing through the name. So similarly, what happens is here our server is running with our IP address. Okay. So this IP address, what happens is the website which we run inside our servers. So I think when we have hosted our HTML website, so all our HTML websites were accessed using the public IP address. I hope you remember. So when we have website, for example, if we have hosted our website on Ubuntu server, so what we are doing, we were accessing through the public IP address. So we have just entered the public IP address followed by the port number, right? So this is not the case with everything. So that is the reason what we do is we'll buy a domain, right? Like this, for example, google.com. I'll buy a domain, so this is called a domain. So I'll buy the domain and I'll attach this domain to my IP address. Okay, so simply in Lightsail, they made it that also very very simple. So simply you can buy your domain from here directly. So how to buy a domain is register a domain and you search the availability. For example, I'm doing for it for my college. So I'll say Hyderabad college. Okay, so just it will be checking the availability. So I'll say hyderabadcollege.com. I would want a .com website. Okay, so I'll check the availability. Okay, so it is saying that it is not available, so it is suggesting, so whichever you want. So hyderabadcollege.org, you can select and you can buy your domain directly. So what happens now is the website which you are hosting, so if you buy this domain, so your website will be working through this domain. So I'll say, for example, hyderabad.org. Okay, so this will run my website. So this is possible when I buy this domain. So they are charging me $12, 12 USD dollars per year, right? And also what you can do is, because as you know, we will be doing the payment to Amazon, so Amazon will do the payment to the domain. And also we can do is auto renewal services also we can do. That means every year it will be auto renewed. Okay, so you can fill the details and that domain will be registered on your name. So all your personal details need to be given, or any organization details need to be given. So to that it will be registered. Okay, hyderabad college.org. So even you can buy a domain from here. Okay, if you click on this you can buy. So what happens after you buy this domain is, simply if you are connecting to your website through this IP address. For example, this is my public IP address. Okay, I'll copy, Control C and Control V. As you know, we are making one HTTP request. So HTTP request will have port number 80. So what will we do? Colon 80. So this will access my website, right? And also the problem is, one time you restart your server, this IP address will change. New IP address will come, right? So what will you do is, if you buy a domain, so as you have seen the process of purchasing the domain hyderabadcollege.org, if I bought the domain for $12 per year, simply uh, what I can do, I can just click on this domain and I will be able to access my project or website. Okay, so that is the reason. As you know, everything is linked with amount, how much money you spend, how many services you get. Okay, so creating your instance is also very simple, and storing your or taking the backup is also very simple, and attaching one disk or removing the disk is also very simple, and networking is also very simple, adding the security rules, right? So load balancing, so these are all very very easy to do. And also one more additional thing is, you can even register a domain directly. So whereas if you go to this EC2 section, you will never find the option of this domain in this, right? So that is another there is one complicated process associated with linking your IP address to the domain. That is a very big procedure. So what you can do here, you can simply buy a domain and you can just directly register it, right? Okay, and also the options are very very simple. You can just reboot your server whenever you want. You can just stop the server whenever you want. Okay, so I'll be stopping it. And deleting your instance is also very simple. Just go to your home page. So here you will be seeing the list of all your instances. I think we haven't tried one Windows server. We'll try that also. So this is the Ubuntu one. Ubuntu or Amazon Linux, everything will follow the same procedure. So create instance. Now I'll just try with Windows. So Windows server I'll go, and I'll go with $20 per month Windows server, and create instance. Just two steps, as you can see. Just select your name, OS, and price. That's it. Only three. So here you can see all your list of instances when you create. So simply now what you can do, this and delete. Okay, yes, delete. So that will delete instantly. So instead of that terminating or deleting your volumes, nothing will be there. Okay, so I think one we have already practiced in this with Nginx, right? So I'll create one Nginx also. Let us see if it works on Nginx, because we have hosted our website, right? Like we have created one Ubuntu operating system. Inside our Ubuntu operating system, we have installed Apache or HTTPD or Nginx. Then we have hosted our website. So what we do is, now we are asking it to provide the operating system along with Nginx. So okay, so I'm selecting this. We'll also look into that. So I'm going with very basic one, and I'll click on create instance. Only two steps. Okay. So this is, let it complete its installation. So we'll access our Windows server now. So just click on Windows server. As you can see, it has same procedures, same matrices, same snapshot, same storage, same networking, same domain. Okay, all the things. There is no confusion if you are using Windows or Windows server or Ubuntu server. All the options will remain the same. Okay, so we'll try to connect to our server now. So as you can see, just click connect using RTP. Okay, I'll just click on connect. So here you can see, I think we have directly got connected to our server. Whereas when we are working with our instance, I think it's doing the installation part. Right, within seconds, I think hardly within 5 minutes we have got our server, right? So whereas the same thing, if we are practicing in our EC2, the procedure were little complex, like, right? Once you need to create your instance. So after creating your instance, you need to download your RDP file. So you'll get an RDP file. You'll open your RDP file, and you need to generate a password. So how will you generate a password? You will be having a file called PEM file. So .pm file. So you take that pm file, you'll upload, and you'll decrypt the password, and then you will be getting a new password, and that new password you will be pasting in your RDP file. So that was a very very lengthy process, and there is so much time consumed and so much uh, lengthy process. So coming back, whereas in Lightsail, as you can see, simply what I have done, I'll close this. Simply what I have done, just I opened my instance. I'll go to home. I just clicked on my instance, and I just clicked on connect using RDP. So that is directly connecting to my instance without any headache, right? So again, there is no need of PM file, or no need to generate a password, or no need to copy your IP address, nothing. Okay, for a beginner, you can directly start using like this. Okay, instead of getting deeper into everything. So everybody doesn't need a technical knowledge. So everybody, some person will be very much focused on the work. So they want output, not the procedure. Okay, so the people who really want only the output, and who want to make the work really fast or really quick, so that time you can just come here and you can use this service. Okay, so I think other settings will all remain the same. You can matrix, snapshots, storage, networking. These are all same as our Ubuntu server only. Okay. Again, this, if you want to connect, if you don't want to connect this, if you want to connect to your remote desktop software. Okay. So remote desktop connection. Okay. So if you want, you can also connect from here. Right? Simply you can take your IP address. So there is no confusion here. Again, they are telling public IP address, private IP address, IPv4, IPv6, nothing. One single IP address. Right? So simply they are asking what is the username, and see retrieve password. So click on retrieve. So it is just generating a password directly. Instead, where we are when we are working on this EC2 instances, we need to have the PEM file, and we need to upload, decrypt the password, and we need to generate it. So here you can see how many times you want. You can just simply generate the password. Okay, much simpler process, right? So this is while working with the Windows server. Okay, I'll stop the server, and I'll just remove it. So removing your server is also a very very simple process. So simply what you can do is just click on this, and you'll get a delete option. So there is no much confusion. The process will remain very very simple in this light set. Okay. So I think it while after getting stopped, it will delete the server. Okay. It is not stopped yet. Okay, so the third server which we have created was one okay, I think it got stopped. We'll remove this. So click on delete. So deleting is also very easy in this. Right, done. Okay, so I think we have experimented this. We have created one Ubuntu server, So along with Nginx, Nginx application, right? So you might be asking, so previously uh, we create one Ubuntu server, and you will install this Nginx package, right? So as you can see, first what we'll do is we'll try to check. As you can see, they are telling that you already Nginx has been installed. That means the web configuration has been done, right? So the web configuration is done means when you access your IP address, so you need to able to access your website also, right? So at least the default page need to appear, right? So we'll just open the IP address and see. Okay, so as you can see, when you open your IP address, a default page is appearing, correct? So that means the configuration part also done by uh, AWS itself, right? So as you can see, the Nginx is open source package is running properly. So connect to my PHP my admin. So from here directly you can host your PHP website. So all the configuration part is done very easily. Okay, so this is the advantage of using the Lightsail. So I've just instead it has created the server. Along with the server, it has also installed the necessary packages. So how we found out? So just we opened our IP address, and we have found out that web configuration is working properly. So simply I can change my files to change the website. That's it. Okay, so that simple it is. So again, if you want to connect to your server, simply you can just click on connect. It will directly take to you to the server. Again, there is no headache of any ppk file or anything, right? You can directly get your server. And one more important thing I forgot to tell is, so this light sail can be used from any of the operating systems. For example, if you are using this Windows operating system, it will be running on Windows operating system. If you are working on this Ubuntu, it will work on Ubuntu. If you are taking Mac also, it will be working. So why? Because as you can see, this output which we are getting is getting through a web browser. That means we are taking one HTTP protocol request. So that means it can be accessible even on the same website. You can access from Windows, or and the output which you get, as you can see, this thing. For example, I'll tell you one scenario. What is the scenario is, for example, we have created one EC2 instance. Okay, so EC2 instance with Ubuntu operating system, right? So what happens is, to connect to this, what we need one putty software, right? So putty software we need to connect in our Windows. So Windows operating system, we are using putty software. Similarly, uh, sometimes what happens is, for example, if you are connecting to this server from Mac or Apple. So what happens is, in Mac there might not be the putty software might not be available. In that case, you might be needing another software to access to your instance. So in some cases, Mac might support your what we say a putty software, or it may not support putty software. So that time you need to find one alternative software to connect to your server. So similarly, you can take same example for Ubuntu operating system. So if you take Ubuntu operating system might not be having the putty software. So or else simply you can take example of WinSCP. So WinSCP we have used for FTP transfer, to shift our files from our local computer to the server. So WinSCP might not be available in Mac. Then then that will be a problem. Similarly, WinSCP if not available for Ubuntu, that is a problem. But whereas in Lightsail, your server can be accessed through any operating system, right? Why? Because We are not using any external software for SSH connection. So simply if you click on this SSH connection, as you can see, the output is coming inside the Google Chrome browser, right? So for even if you forget about Google Chrome, the main intention is the output is working on one browser, right? So as you know, if you are using the same inside this Mac, you'll be having Safari browser. Inside the Safari browser, you'll be getting the output. Similarly, if you are opening this Ubuntu, in Ubuntu what will be there? Firefox browser will be there. Inside the Firefox browser, you'll be getting your server, where you might be not needing any external software like Putty or WinSCP. Any external softwares are not required. Okay, so this is about this instances section. So I'll just delete this server. You can just what I suggest is try to create as many as instances in this. Just explore what are all the services it is providing. Just create your instance, and the features which were there, try to explore all the features, get familiar. This will also make you give you more and more knowledge for you. Okay, so what you need to do is, the best way of doing is, just explore all the options which are available in this light sale. Okay, just explore all the options in this light sale, and try to uh, do the same things manually in your EC2, right? Got my point? So first, all the easy things you do here, and you execute the same things so in this instance, right? So for example, here in this we might be having a snapshot. So how to take the snapshot in this? You practice this in our regular instance. In this you get static IP, right? So how to get the static IP in your instance, that you practice. Similarly, networking is there. Networking is a big part. So in this networking, you might be having this security groups. So how to change the security groups? So here you learn that manually. This is easy method, and this is uh, professional or expert method. Okay. Similarly, here load balancing is there. How to add load balancing? The same load balancing how we will be doing in this in our EC2. Similarly, distributing. So what distribution will exactly do? So here it is easy process, and try to execute the same easy process in our instance. So this will make you an expert in instance. So all the features in your EC2 will be covered, right? Got my point? So if you can do this easy method as well as the hard method, then you can become a professional or expert in handling your servers. Okay, so this is all about handling your servers. What are all the activities, or what are all the operations you can perform on your servers? If you can do these features, you're confident enough to attend any job interview. Most of the questions will be about this only. So they might be asking about snapshots, how to take snapshots, automatic snapshots, storages, how to add storage, remove storage, networking. So IPv for networking, how you add port numbers, what port number is used for what. So which is the port number for this SQL server, what is the port number for FTP communication, what is the port number for SSH, and how to connect a domain, how to create register a domain, how to connect a domain, what is static IP, what is elastic IP, and what are all the different procedures for connecting to your servers. Okay, so this is all about instances. So in the beginning of our class also, I have told you, don't try to learn all the services. This Amazon is providing you this, hundreds of services are available in this Amazon services. So don't try to get confused with working on multiple services. Okay, even if you learn one or two services, be confident. Okay, so EC2 is very very major service provided by AWS. This is a very very important service and major service. Most of the websites, most of the companies, they will be using this EC2 services only, right? So get familiar and try to explore all the options and become very very confident. Okay, so this should help you in cracking most of the interviews. Okay, so that is what you need to do. Just you practice in easy method, and you just try to explore the same in this expert method. Okay, next next is containers. So containers mostly we will be discussing in this DevOps part. So we haven't worked on this DevOps yet, so this you are not this we won't be covering today. So databases also we haven't started. Database, Anna, we actually take it very very in the last part we can take. Or else you can just explore what's there. This is easy method only, no? Easy method we can directly explore. So create a database. So right now this AWS is providing us only two databases. One is MySQL and one is PostgreSQL. Okay, only two types of databases are available. So select your database. For example, I want to create one MySQL database. So I'll select MySQL database, and if you want to create any specific username and password, you can create, or else a default username and passwords will be created by Amazon itself. Okay, so master database name you can specify, or else it will be creating a default name called DB master by itself. So the thing is, main intention is we want to create a database. That's it. So which database you want to create? So I'll say MySQL or Postgres. So I'll select MySQL. So next thing is pricing factor. So how much you are offering? Like what is your budget? So for example, if you are going for $15, so I think in our instance we are getting around 40 GB as SSD, 1 GB, and we are getting 1.5 TB of transfer, right? So here you can see only 100 GB of transfer. Why? Because most of the databases will be storing your information in the form of text only. So text intercept, like your in the simple terms, you can just for your understanding purpose, because most of your non-IT, simply I can tell you as you can consider database very similar to MS Excel. I think you guys will be knowing about Microsoft Excel. So in Microsoft Excel, as you can see, it is just rows and columns. In these rows and columns, you will be having tables. These rows and columns will be forming tables, and inside these tables, you will be storing your information, text, numbers, that type of information. So that will be very very minimal, very bytes, tiny amount of data. That means hardly the characters will be stored in very very bytes of information, or we can even say KB of file. 1 KB of file can handle several hundreds of names. So that is the reason we are giving very very less transfer. 100 GB only they are providing, whereas in our normal server, they have provided 1.5 TB of transfer. Okay, so similarly, you can just create your database name and create database. Just two steps, I think. Select your database, choose your plan, and create database. That's it. Only two simple steps. Okay, let it create. And I think networking part we have seen. in networking part, the very important thing is this static IP. I think static IP we have already discussed. So we know about elastic IP. So try to work on that. This static IP we have already explored in our instances. Elastic IP we have worked. So static IP is the same. So similarly CDN, so for the speed delivery, and this you can ignore, that not that much required. And you can just work on this load balancer. Try to create one load balancer. As I told, we need at least two servers to work on this load balancer, and try to explore this load balancer. Okay, so that will also be very simple. And storage, so right now you have only one storage. You can add or delete more storages. This also we know. And the domains, I think we have explored in our instances. So DNS zone, we have, if we are having multiple domains, you can create a zone, and you can add all these domains into one single group. So one is, if you want to register domain, you can just buy a domain from Amazon. So here I will say, as I think I have already gave you an example, Hyderabad schools, check availability. So I'll say I need a .com website. So click on check availability. Okay, he is telling that okay, hyderabadschools.com is available. So that is for 13 US dollars per year. So simply you can buy, and this amount will be added in your billing. Okay, so this is about domain. And snapshots, we have already know what are all snapshots are all about. I think we have taken one snapshot. I think I have experimented by myself. I have taken a snapshot. Okay, so restoring the snapshot, I think we that will also be easy in this. So right click. So one thing is, what options they are giving is, one is, this is just a backup. Okay, so I have taken a backup of my instance. So if I want to restore, so they are giving me three options. One is create a new instance. That means a copy of this instance will be created. A copy of this instances will be created. Okay, here, as you know, the last time when we have done, so to restore the backup image, so simply the option is, you can configure your hardware. So create instance. Okay, so this is my backup copy. So using that backup copy, I want to restore the instance. So that I have done. So I have told I want to create new instance. So I have completed the process. So as you can see, it is restoring my instance. But whereas in our EC2, the concept is little typical. So first you need to go to the snapshot. You need to create a snapshot. After creating your snapshot, you need to create an image. So after creating your image, you need to select your image, and then you need to restore, right? So launch instance. So that means there are three steps involved. So here you can see the process is only one single step. Right click, they click on this dot, create new instance. That's it. So that has created one new copy of my backup server. Okay. Similarly, the same thing is what you can do, copy to another region. For example, we have created the this instance in Mumbai region. If you want to change the region to another region, so that this copy of instance will be created in another region. So that also can be done. So export to Amazon EC2. So what happens is this Amazon Linux which we are working in Lightsail, as you can see, these are all in under different service category, and these are all under different service category, right? So both we are getting in different places, right? So what happens is, once you experimented in this, so you understood about all this light sale, and you have configured everything. So at the end, what you can do is, you can shift this instance from Lightsail to EC2. Okay, so this copy of this the copy of this server will be made into this EC2. So that option is also there. So export to Amazon EC2. Okay, so this will do. I think there are some additional charges. Okay, this also you need to experiment. Okay, so my suggestion is just you ignore this containers and databases. So I think our database is still getting created. Okay, so ignore just containers and databases and try all the options. You need not leave anything. Okay, so every corner, every option which they are providing in Lightsail, you just explore. Why? Because this will build more confidence for you to work on our instances. Okay, so you need to be familiar by doing in Lightsail and also EC2, or else in between I can what we say is I'll ask question like, for example, how to create and restore a snapshot in Lightsail. So you need to explain the procedure. So similarly, I'll ask how to create and restore a snapshot in Amazon EC2. So what is the procedure? Okay, so you need to explain both how it is done in Lightsail and how it is done in EC2. Okay, so even if you leave few things in EC2 is fine, no, not a problem. But you need not miss any option in Lightsail, because all the options which are used in Lightsail are very important and are applicable everywhere. So that means any website, most of the very important things are all available in Lightsail. They have filtered the main things, and that main things you need not miss. Okay, here you, even if you miss several things, not a problem, but you don't miss anything in Lightsail. Okay, so I need you guys to just explore everything, and for each of that you need to make notes. Okay, so steps involved in Lightsail. Okay, so one more thing I forgot. uh, Here we are creating one instance, right? So uh, in this instance also you host one website. So we have hosted one website, we have created one EC2 instance, and we have hosted one website, right? In the same way, I want you guys to host your website in this Lightsail server also. So here you need to create two servers. One is Ubuntu server and one is Windows server. In this both servers, you host one website. Okay, I want that to be done. You can take it as a homework. You create two servers. In this, one is Ubuntu and one is Windows. Okay, and these two servers, please host at least one website in each of the server. Okay, that means your practical part will be more confident. So here you already hosted one website in Windows, you already hosted one website in Ubuntu. So here also you create two servers. One is Amazon, one is Windows, and you host a website in Amazon, and you host a website in Ubuntu server. Okay, such that you will not miss anything. Okay, so here you will be hosting a website in EC2. So here you'll be hosting your website in Lightsail. Okay, so both of the thing you'll be very confident. Okay, so on Monday, I think today is Friday, na? So on Monday I'll ask. So I need four IP addresses from everyone. So I'll write notepad. So four things you need to do. One is in under EC2 section. One is Windows server with website. Second one is Ubuntu or Amazon with website. Next is Lightsail, Windows server with website. Second one is you can select anyone, Ubuntu or Amazon Linux, both are fine. Okay, so I need you guys to do these four things, and you need to submit on Monday. So that means you guys will be getting four IP addresses. Okay, these four IP addresses you need to submit on Monday. Okay, and also please make notes while doing this practice. Okay, so we'll be going through so many other tasks, you might be forgetting the process. So please maintain some notes, and what are all the steps you are doing. For example, if you are clicking on this for example, in this you can click on launch instance, write launch instance. This is step number 1. So next, step number 2, you're entering name. So write the name. So step number 3, select the operating system. Fourth step, select Amazon Linux operating system. Step number 5, select your instance type. So inside your instance type, go for t2.micro. So again, step number 6, select key pair or else create a key pair. So write a key pair name. So like that, please write all the steps which you are doing. Okay, so this will be for your homework, and everyone you need to submit to me on Monday. Okay, so if you do this, then we will close this EC2 and light sale part, and we'll move on to the next other working on other services. Okay, so mostly I think if possible we will start with this DevOps and containers concept. We'll start Docker containers section, we will be starting. Okay, so I'll be available here, and if you are having any doubts, you can just come back to me. Okay, you can just practice, and I think this I'll be available here only. You can just practice. If you are having any doubt, you can come back to me. Okay, and if you guys are having any work, you can just leave the chat, not a problem. Okay.